The Hooters on Wolf Road drawing protesters twice in recent weeks.
Justice for Brandy, justice for all. Everybody has justice, trans rights.
I'm suing Hooters for sex-based discrimination.
She hoped to someday work there. However, after her recent transition, Brandy claims that she's not respected there as a woman.
They would use male pronouns. They would refer to me as he.
She says she applied 3 times for employment.
I said, do you want to see my experience or anything? Because I had previous jobs I've had written down. And he said, well, we don't care about experience. We hire on the basis of personality, and there's an image that needs to be met.
They just claimed that you had, prior to transitioning and after, you had frequently made multiple servers at the restaurant uncomfortable by informing them you wanted to marry them, discussing masturbation.
I never said any of that.
The Hooters company says that you had threatened to go to a gun range for practice for the next time you came to the restaurant.
My mom would take me to the gun range and for clay pigeon shooting trap. I feel like one of the servers might have overheard what me and my dad were talking about and misunderstood what we were talking about.
Ultimately, Brandy says she does not want money.
What I really want is an apology. I'm never gonna get that.
It was a scary time for me.
In July of 2023, she sent the HR department at Liberty an email saying she identified as a trans woman. She sent another follow-up email to HR on August 8th. They scheduled a meeting with her that same day. During the meeting, she says they gave her a letter that said she was fired.
The termination letter that Liberty University provided Eleanor and read aloud in that meeting cited verbatim, said denying biological and chromosomal sex assigned at birth was the basis for termination.
Don't ever let someone tell you who you are or aren't.
A transgender woman is speaking out after winning a settlement against an East County gym she says repeatedly denied her access to the women's locker room.
Absolutely elated. Absolutely elated. It's validation.
More than 5 years after her ordeal began, Kristen Wood says the fight was worth it. In 2016, after she began her transition, she was harassed by a male gym member. She tells us she asked managers to use the women's locker room, but they repeatedly denied her access for nearly a year, despite a doctor's note confirming her transition, and even after she legally changed her gender.
I'm a transgender woman, and my pronouns are she and her.
In a live-streamed sermon about telling the truth without fear of consequence, Pastor Junia Joplin revealed her own truth, that she's a transgender woman. She believes it cost her her job.
I thought it might be the last sermon I ever got to preach, and so I wanted to say things that really mattered.
Reverend Joplin was the lead pastor at Lauren Park Baptist Church, where she presented as male until last June.
Bobby Schaefer, who is transgender, is suing Paulding Schools and a school bus drivers union after she was fired on January 11th, 2022. Schaefer was arrested for an OVI by Defiance Police in late 2021 and lost both of her jobs. But those charges were later dismissed because her blood test came back with an alcohol content of 0. Schaefer believes the arrest was because of a 911 caller who targeted her because she is transgender.
Maddie Wade worked 9 years at Starbucks. She was promoted to supervisor and oversaw baristas at this location at Milburn and Herndon. Last October, Maddie was known as Matthew and knew it was time to become her real self, a female. Wade says she told her manager.
The day after I had talked to him about my transition, he made me aware that it was challenging for him to accept because of his religious views.
In a lawsuit against that manager and Starbucks, Wade claims she started feeling discriminated against.